Hello and welcome back to your mat. Today we're going to do a short full body class, or as much of the body as we can fit in this short class. We'll get started right away. No props are needed. Just bring yourself to the mat. And we'll get started with a quote by Eckhart Tolle. Awareness is the greatest agent for change. Just being aware. So try to stay aware throughout your class today. We're going to start seated, so go ahead and set yourself up in a comfortable position here. I've got my right shin in front of my left. It doesn't really matter which one's in front. And all we're going to do is bring the right hand out to the right, and then I'm going to have you bring your left ear to your left shoulder. So we're doing a nice little side stretch or a neck stretch here, and we're also getting some side lengthening here at the same time. So really stretch those right fingers out like you're trying to reach for something that's just out of reach. Bringing the ear to your left shoulder gently there. Should get a nice stretch all the way along through here and even down in the side body a bit. Another inhale and exhale there. Just noticing what you feel. Bring your head back up. And from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a nice little side bend with that. So you're just going to stretch that left hand out to the side. Bring that right arm up overhead. And again, you can bring that ear back down to your shoulder if you'd like. And come on up and release that. Same thing, other side. Go ahead and bring that left hand out to the side here. Let it dangle and hover above the ground. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch, long line of stretch all along here. Maybe a little energy flow through there too as you're doing it. And just a little bit of a stretch here on the left. Just really stretch those and dangle those left fingers as if you're trying to reach something. Take an inhale there and an exhale. Help your head, bring it back up to center there. And then we're going to bring that right hand out to the right and do just a quick little side bend here so we get a little left side opening. And then come all the way back up. All right, and from here, we're now going to come up into mountain pose. So you can stand at the top of your mat, or if you'd like, you can stand in the middle of your mat. But I'm going to start, I think I'm going to face the front of my mat because we're going to flow a little bit from here. So to start with, get yourself a nice stable base the best you can. And I'm going to have my feet about hip distance apart. You can have them closer or wider. You'll see that we're going to actually come up on our toes a bit here. So you're going to want to have a nice little stable base here. So having your feet closer together may make this more challenging. So if you're looking for the challenge, go for that. I'm going to go with hips, hip distance apart to hopefully give myself the best chance of staying upright and not falling over in this video. So from here, I just want you to inhale and rise up on your toes, giving ourselves, and stay up there if you can. So I'm going to try that again, but go ahead and try to balance on the toes there. So you're strengthening, you're stretching your calves here, you're working your balance, find that point of gaze off in the distance, and then exhale and release that and come back down. It's a great thing to do any time of day, anytime you're just out doing something. Maybe you have your shoes off and you need to get home. Just try doing a little balance challenge there and also see what it does for your calves. From here, we're going to inhale, rise our arms up overhead, and we're going to exhale and fold forward. Go ahead and let yourself dangle here and just stay here for a moment. You can bring your hands down the back of your legs and grab your calves and pull yourself in. You can have a bend in your knees. You can have straight legs. Whatever works for your body today. Just dangle for a moment, shake your head yes and no. Just see how you feel in this pose. And we're going to inhale and halfway lift. And I don't have a block today because I wanted to go no props today, so I'm just going to use my shins here. And I'm going to look out in front of me. So if you want to put your hands down on the ground, if you feel open enough for that to come out your halfway lift, go for it. Or you can come up on your shins. Look out in front of you. And then exhale, let's just dangle one more time. And go ahead and grab the backs of your calves if you like, or bring your hands to the ground. Shake your head yes and no. And then we're going to step our left foot back and come into a nice deep lunge here. So from here, I want you to go ahead and really sink deep into that front right leg that's bent. You can untuck those back toes if you like. And here you can either interlace your hands behind your back to give yourself a nice chest opener, or you can open your arms up into a nice cactus shape. Looks like goalpost. So whatever variation works for you. We're trying to open up that chest. If neither one of those work for you, you can just leave your hands on that front bent leg. But we're really trying to sink deep here to really help open up those hip flexors a bit. You can look up if you like. Make sure you breathe in these poses. It's that the breath is really helpful to help move the energy through your body, to help any tight spots, to help any tension you may have. And then go ahead and plant your hands. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog. So plant those hands, and now we're going to take our dog for a walk. So taking our dog for a walk, bend one leg, have the other straight, and then bend the other, and the opposite leg straight. And do that a few times. And if your dog is nearby and just heard me say, take your dog for a walk, they might be by the door thinking they're going for a walk. I apologize in advance for all the dogs who think they're going on a walk right now. And then we're going to listen carefully. We're going to do something a little different here. You're going to turn both of your heels over to the right. So now both of my feet are facing the left edge of my mat. And this is just a different way to get into some different parts of our body here. So we're just going to stretch here, stretch back into our down dog, but with our feet turned. So my feet are turned toward the left. Return back to center, toes facing the normal way in down dog. And then drop your knees, and we're going to come down onto our bellies. And we're going to rise up into a cobra. So inhale. And bring yourself into any amount of cobra here. So if you want to go with a lower cobra, medium cobra, or a high cobra. And then I want you to look over that right shoulder for a breath here. So if you're looking at something behind you, come back to center and lower yourself back down. Now don't worry, we'll do the other side, but for now we're going to come back into a downward facing dog. Stretch it all back for a moment. And now we're going to do the other side. So step that left foot forward, drop that back right knee, untuck the toes if you like, come into that nice deep lunge here. So we're really lunging deeply here to help open up that right hip flexor. Arms can come up into cactus. They can be interlaced behind your back, or you can simply just keep them on your knees, on your knee. I don't have two knees on this one leg. That'll be interesting. And just breathe here for a moment. Both your hands back down to the ground, and go ahead and step back into your downward facing dog. We'll take the dog for a walk again. Our yoga dog, not our real dog. Sorry, real dogs that might be listening. And then go ahead and stretch back into your down dog for just a moment here. Drop your knees, and let's come on forward onto our stomachs once more. We'll do another cobra pose here. So, plant your hands and rise up into whatever version of cobra you feel like today. It's going to be a small one, or it can be all the way up. And now look over that left shoulder, as if there was something very interesting back there. And then go ahead and lower back down. Come back into your down dog, and I just realized I forgot that one thing I want to do on the other side. So let's go back to our down dog, and now we'll do our heels, dropping both of our heels over to the left. I like balance, so we'll fit it in right here. And both of my feet are now turned. Toes are pointed toward the right side of my mat. And I'm trying to keep my legs straightish here, and almost like I'm still in my down dog, I just have my feet turned. And then you can come back forward. Stretch back into your down dog there. And then go ahead and lower your knees down, and we'll come to a seat here. So now we're going to come into a nice twist, seated twist. This is a short class, but we're going to hit most of the parts of our body that we can. So for this one, you have a couple options. You can either simply come cross-legged, so I'm going to have my right foot in front or my right leg in front of my left, or you can step that right leg over your left with my left knee bent. So now my left foot is next to my right hip, and my right foot is over to the left of my left leg. Hope that made some sense. So pick one. This is obviously the easier one to do, but if you're feeling like you want a little bit more of a twist, go ahead and step that right foot over. Get up nice and tall, regardless of which one you're doing, and then we're going to just twist to the right. So go ahead, bring yourself looking over to the right. If you're in the variation with just your leg in front, Same idea, you're just going to have your left hand on your right knee and looking over to the right. So either one, you're going to get a nice twist. So don't feel like you have to try to do the one you think is more challenging or that one is going to suddenly be better somehow. It's just another variation. And then go ahead and come back to center. We'll do the other side. So if you're doing the simple cross-legged, just put that left leg in front of the right. If you want to do the step over, just go ahead and bend that right leg. Right foot is next to my left hip, and I've stepped my right foot over. I'm sorry, my left foot. Okay, let's say that again. The right leg is bent. Right foot is next to my left hip. My left leg is bent, is coming over top. Sit up tall. Same idea. We're going to twist over to the left. And if you're in the normal seated cross-legged, just have that right hand on your left knee and looking over to the left. And then come all the way back to center. And we're going to lay back on our backs here. We're just going to come into a quick figure 4 pose. So go ahead and bring that right foot on top of your left knee. You could stay here if that's enough of a stretch for you, or if you're not feeling anything, I'd go ahead and reach through, bring your left leg up. So I'm grabbing at my shin and pulling in any amount. So you have to decide here how far you want to pull in. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you want to maybe have some sort of sensation. So you decide where that's at for you. I feel it really right along here, the back of my leg here, back of the thigh, upper quad area. You might feel it more in your hips, maybe in your glutes. We all feel these poses in different places. Exhale and release that. And go ahead and come into the other side. Left foot on top of your right knee. Go ahead and bring your leg forward. Or your leg in, bending in. You can close your eyes if you like here. Try to keep your left foot, your left toes flexed. That'll help protect the knee. And then go ahead and release that. And then I just want you to stretch out on your mat into Shavasana. So stay with me for just a few breaths here. I know a lot of people are quick to jump up, but this is one of the most important poses in a yoga class. And again, if it doesn't work for you to be on your back, you can be on your side or even on your stomach. So pick what works best for you. You could have a pillow here if you like. You can grab a pillow, whatever you like. Stretch the arms out, stretch the legs out, close your eyes. Let's stay here for 5 really nice, slow, deep breaths and let the effects of our practice wash over us. Have awareness for how we felt during today's practice, how the poses felt, how we feel at the end of class versus the beginning. It was a short amount of time, a short class, and we tried to cover as much of the body as we could. Obviously, we didn't get every last nook and cranny, but I think a short practice can be really beneficial because a lot of us are pressed for time, and I like to say some minutes are better than no minutes. Take 2 more deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Really let yourself just go into the mat here as if there was just a ton of weight on top of you, just pushing you into the mat. Just really let yourself go here. Feel very heavy here. And if you're ready to move on with your day, let's go ahead and stretch our arms and our legs out. Arms up overhead, legs out long on the mat. If you want to stay there, just ignore my cues. Hug your knees into your chest. Try to come up slowly here. Go ahead and roll over to one side. I'm on my right. Stay here for just a moment with your head on your arm. And then push yourself slowly back up. Come back to seated. So a lot of us we're in this hurry and we've got to get done with what we're doing and let's move on. But I like to try to bring you back slowly so you can kind of just bring yourself back into your day. I hope this class was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this short but sweet little class that runs through a good portion of our body. it's always good to take the time to take care of ourselves. So thank you for joining me again. And until next time.